It was back in 1955. A unique community was founded in a remote village in the North York Moors called Botton. It was created so that adults with learning disabilities could live in family homes with volunteers, having the same chance as anyone else to experience family and community life. Now, there are now 75 Camp Hill communities across the world, all run on the same ethos, and 36 of them are in Britain. Volunteers at Botton have always worked for no salary, instead having all their expenses met by the charity. Managers at the Camp Hill Village Trust who run Botton want to stop volunteer workers and replace them with paid carers working shifts. We've reported on the controversial plans before, but now one volunteer says the way changes are being implemented is unacceptable. Carla Fowler has been to meet him.
Botton Village is a special place. Volunteer host families share homes and lives with people with learning difficulties, giving 24-hour support for no payment. Mark Barber has worked there for 6 years, but has volunteered in Camp Hill communities all his adult life. He and 40 other workers at Botton fear they could face eviction by the trust in charge if they don't sign contracts of employment by next month. But for Mark, it's worse than that. 2 weeks ago, he was suddenly suspended and told by managers to leave the village.
The managers told me in very clear terms that there'd been a safeguarding alert against me, that I'd been suspended, and that I had to leave my house, but also the community with immediate effect. So that meant also with my 2 children, aged 13 and 8. They mentioned no alternative accommodation that they made provision for. But it was very clear that they wanted me to go there and then.
Mark refused to leave Botton and demanded to know why he had been suspended. He still hasn't been fully informed. He and others opposed to the changes being introduced claim they're being manipulated by management. They say they're being forced to sign over a way of life under the possible threat of eviction without any meaningful dialogue. And Mark says he's not the first to find himself at the centre of a safeguarding alert.
There is compelling evidence to suggest that the management is misusing the procedures of safeguarding. The charity has targeted individuals. There'll be a safeguarding alert. They'll be evicted immediately. And I believe the public would be truly shocked to understand what has actually been going on with the use of taxpayers' money and millions of pounds raised by donors to support the wonderful communities that we, the volunteers and the people with special needs, have created over these last 60 years.
The Camp Hill Village Trust wouldn't let Look North film in Botton, but they deny all allegations of unfair behaviour. In a statement they said,
"Safeguarding policies have not been misused. We report matters that may be safeguarding to local authorities in accordance with the local safeguarding policy. We may suspend a member of staff in that context. For co-workers, that may involve asking them to move to alternative accommodation. Attempts to reach an amicable solution with Mr. Barber have been unsuccessful, and he has been given 2 months' notice to leave. Other co-workers have not been asked to leave. If co-workers decide that they do not want an employed role, then the charity will not be able to continue to provide them with indefinite free accommodation and financial support."
This idyllic community has become a battleground for the residents and those who support them, who are fighting to retain its original vision. Carla Fowler, BBC Look North, Botton.